Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Fins Up SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D. And we are live here on Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Day number 2. This is going to be an abbreviated show. Let me just tell you all that from up front, because I got to go catch a flight to go back to Baltimore. Okay, so I'm still in Miami. As you guys can see, I'm in Solo D's studio. And this is it. This is it. My flight leaves at noon. Got a lot of things to do before then. But I am super excited about hanging out with y'all today. Woo! Let me tell y'all, yesterday's show was a doozy. Yes, I said that right, a doozy. But before we get into all that, I want to make sure I remind everybody here, please go hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Go hit it, tap it, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Just make sure you hit that like button and share it with everybody that you know. That's the first thing. Number 2, also, if you guys want to sign up to become a member of the channel, come on, join. We're here. Have a seat at the table. If you guys have an issue with the link, here is, let me copy the link for you, and I'll put it in the chat. And you guys come hang out with me. Come on to the channel. It's going to be awesome. Why is it going to be awesome? Well, you get exclusive early release music to Solo D's weekly Miami Dolphin songs. We got a lot of things going on and a lot of cool stuff going on, like the Tail Greeter pregame show that we did last week was absolutely awesome. We're going to start setting up YouTube members online access 30 minutes early before everybody else when we start doing that again. So make sure you sign up. You become a member today, okay? Al M says, love your stuff. I appreciate it, Al. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Dolphin Winters said, fins up from Philly. I like it. I like it. I was listening to TD Fins talk this morning towards the end, so I was definitely hearing my man D-Dub, who, by the way, is in the chat room this morning. Good morning, D-Dub. I also heard Estefan, the Spurs fan. Estefan, the Spurs still suck, just so you know. I just got to let you know that, brother. So I heard you guys in there talking about Tua and just everything this morning, and we're going to get into all that this morning. But I want to remind everybody before we do that, if you guys want to donate to the channel, help the channel grow, 3 different ways you guys can do that. YouTube Live Super Chat, which is the money sign down at the bottom of the chat. You guys can also use PayPal, which is MSM Podcast Network. And you guys can also do PayPal, which is also MSM Podcast Network with the money sign in front of it. Okay, now that we got all that out the way, it has been crazy. Let me, before I bring on our guest, our Tuesday weekly guest from the Miami Herald, let me kind of explain a few things to you. Number 1, we don't need to be setting off alarms. This is not DEFCON 5. Calm down, Miami Dolphins. Calm down. It's okay. We're going to be fine. We're going to right the ship. I understand that Sunday was a bad loss. I get that. Now, yesterday, after I got off the air, I did a few things. First thing I did is I made a few phone calls to some people. And you know what I did later on in the afternoon? I made a few phone calls to a few more people who run and evaluate the team. Some of them YouTubers, some of them people that are directly close to the situation. And it kind of prepared me for my interview today, which I wanted to have with Daniel Oyefusi. And I'm super excited about what we're going to talk about today because there's just so much to get to. All right. So without further ado, let me bring in my guest from the Miami Herald each and every Tuesday. Guys, make sure you guys go to the Miami Herald and check out my man, Oyefusi. Oyefusi. What's up, Daniel?
What's going on, Steven, man? How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing better than a lot of Dolphins fans right now, but I'm doing good regardless.
Bro, it is okay. Let me I don't know if you saw the show yesterday, and if you didn't, I totally understand. But let me tell you something. a lot of Dolphin fans are hurting right now, and I'm one of those fans. It hurts, but I think what hurts the most is I think we pumped ourselves up that maybe something we weren't. Right? We thought we were this team that was ready to make that next step forward, and we didn't make that next step. Right? And so I think that's what people are kind of upset about, along with a million other things. But, first of all, let me ask you straight up. What was your evaluation of Sunday? What happened, man? Tell me what happened, Daniel.
Well, I first got to tell you, I got burned too because I picked the Dolphins to win this game. I was thinking, some of the offensive additions in the offseason, the defense having the depth in the secondary. I was thinking this was going to be their statement game. So I got burned too. But when I kind of look at that game and after the fact and take a step back and look at it, they were outcoached and outperformed. That's really what it came down to. Players and Coach Flores said that they knew exactly what to expect, but they just didn't execute. But it didn't look like that. It looked like a team that just didn't come prepared to play. The Bills looked like a team that looked at the film from week 1 and saw the Dolphins game and wanted to stop the short passing game and test this young offensive line. And the Dolphins looked like a team that didn't want to make adjustments and thought that they could just kind of rest on their laurels from a week 1 win that, as you said, maybe we shouldn't have, really pumped the Dolphins up for, just kind of escaping with that 1-point win. There is no reason to overreact. I was kind of surprised by the kind of widespread just kind of reaction. Yeah, there was a lot of fire Brian Flores and Chris Greer on the spot, and I'm like, it's week 2. Like, I understand it's week 2 of year 3 of that partnership, and I understand there may have been some frustrations, which you're probably gonna ask me about, some draft picks, front office decisions. I understand that, but again, it's week 2. I think the most disappointing part about it is the fact that it's year 3 of that partnership, and this was kind of like a barometer game. Could they be competitive with a team like the Bills, who has just dominated the series in the past 3 years, really since Josh Allen has been there? I think that's the most disappointing part, and that's why people were saying it was worse than the 56-26 loss last year with backups
hands
playing.
down. Hands down, this was a worse loss.
Yeah, if you lose 24-21, you're fighting back and forth, and you just come up short. I think you kind of get some credit from the national media and whoever it may be for staying competitive.
Oh no, sir, we didn't get no credit from the national media then, and we definitely sure ain't getting it.
I was gonna say there was no love. There wasn't a lot of love after the week 1 game, and there was definitely no love after a week 2 game. So Dolphins are kind of low right now. They got to build it back up, but we've been
building it back up for 20 years, man. For 30 years. Pick a number like that, and that's kind of where this has been, right? So, let me first start off by saying there's a few things that for me play a difference into how this goes forward, right? So, number 1, we dealt with Ryan Tannehill for 6 or 7 years here. And as I was talking with TD Finstock yesterday, shout out to TD Finstock, he told me something that was really a good thing. He's like, you can't compare Tannehill's situation here to Tua's situation here. But what I could compare, what I can take away from it, is that I don't think Tua's ever going to get a fair shake here. And I think, and I'm talking about it from a fan perspective. From a fan perspective, he's always going to split the fan base down the middle 50-50, especially if they're not winning, right? Yeah. And the reality is, if you're not winning, you're not doing anything. You're not doing what we want you to do anyway, right? This team, but, here's the other thing. He's won 7 of his first 11 starts. He played all of 9 plays, 12 plays, whatever it was in this game, then got hurt. And went back and I saw the film breakdown, the all 22 that again TD Finstock did, and I know a lot of YouTubers have done. The reality is the offensive line did not play bad those first 9 to 12 play snaps. It was when Tua got up to the line of scrimmage, he did not call out the defense that he saw. And so you can only expect the offensive line to do so much. Your offensive captain, the person that sees the defense, has to call out players that, your linebackers, stuff like that. And he's not doing that. And there are rumors inside the organization, closed doors. And again, these rumors haven't come from me per se. They've come from other people outside of the organization that he's messing up on remedial stuff, that he's not even getting the basics down of some of this stuff. And that's why, as much as I could not stand the offensive coordinator that we had last year here, there's a reason that there was 2 playbooks last year. Tua wasn't getting it. And it still looks like he's struggling with it now. And I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if you think that's true. I don't know what you've heard or how you see Tua right now.
Well, I'll start off by saying that I agree with you in that Tua probably won't ever get a fair shake from the fans. It's funny because coming from not covering the team and then coming into covering the team, my first couple weeks being here, I thought that Tua wasn't really getting a fair shake just generally.
He's not.
Yeah, just being a young quarterback, it's like you got to give it time. I wrote about that, before the Bills game. You got to give it some time. Look at Josh Allen; he wasn't good his first 2 years, and now he's great. But I think that you're right in saying that there are some concerns with Tua that kind of lead to maybe him not getting a fair shake. We remember the J.C. Jackson quote after the Patriots game saying that's what Tua do. If he don't see his first read, he's gonna overreact. He's gonna get flustered, and he's just gonna throw a ball up to nobody. J.C. Jackson may have got some heat from Dolphins fans, but to some extent, there was some truth to that. In the short bit that Tua was in the game, on some of those RPOs, he had a clear first read, and without that slant to Devontae or Jalen was covered, he didn't really know what to do in terms of covering out, pointing out the fronts, the potential pressures. That's a collective thing. But yeah, you're right. It does come on the quarterback to some extent too. He has to work with the center to kind of work and see how they're going to shift the protection. Austin Jackson said it's not just on one guy. It's every single lineman has to point stuff out. And I agree with you. While some of that may be on Tua, some of that might be on Michael Dieter, you're also seeing guys that are just getting flat out beat. I mean, on that hit that knocked him out the game, I mean, Ebenezer just goes right past Jesse Davis. Guys are just getting pushed right back. So yeah, you can put some of it on Tua, but as it relates to the Week 2 game, I can't put that much on Tua. Maybe diagnosing the pressures and whatnot, because you did see some plays where they had like 7 blockers.
So this is so yesterday. I don't mean to interrupt. Yesterday, this is what I said. I said that, and so then I was told you need to go back and look at the all 22 game film. Go look at the first 11 or 12 plays up until he got knocked out. You tell me what you think about the O-line of those first 9 to 10, 12 plays up until he got knocked out. And I was saying exactly what you said, Daniel, word for word. And then I went back and I looked at those first 11 or 12 plays. And I'll be, that they weren't on the money. The offensive line did not play bad in those first 11 or 12 snaps. They didn't. They didn't play great. The reality is the O-line, in my opinion, is trash straight up. Okay? And it's mediocre at best. And any decent offensive line will mask or cover up any of those inefficiencies that Tua might have. But you can't expect that if they're not even. Let me rephrase what I'm saying. The O-line in the first 11 or 12 plays, they couldn't have done any better with the talent that they are and with the talent that they have. And with that being said, that's where the blame for Tua comes in a little bit. That I got to be objective with. I got to keep it 100, man. And I don't want to. Trust me, I want to say that Tua's the man. It's all the O-line's fault, but it wasn't. And I went back and I saw, and I saw differently.
I mean, my retort would be that the offensive line, I mean, if we're going to put some of the blame on Tua and maybe not diagnosing the fronts and shifting the protection, I would say that the offensive line wasn't that much better because, Jacoby Brissett played pretty much the entire game. Yep. The offensive line wasn't that much better with Jacoby Brissett in there. I mean,
they still got to the red zone 3 times. Now they didn't.
And they did, but also Tua's first 2 drives was also a small sample size. I mean, Tua got to midfield on the second drive, and then he got knocked out. So who's to say? I
agree with you. I'm not even going to disagree with you on there. I agree with you. And by the way, for the record, I love Tua, and I'm a Tua supporter, and I think we're still judging a guy off of somebody who started 11 games in the NFL. Give the kid a chance. I agree. And I'll be the first proponent of it. But I guess the question, Daniel, especially for somebody who hasn't covered the team for so long, from an NFL standpoint, what is enough? When does a team say, you know what? Enough is enough. We've seen enough, before it's, hey, we've been dealing with this for 2 or 3 years. I'm over this stuff. I don't think fans want to get to 2 or 3 years again, because then we're going to hit the reset button and start this all over again, the same way we've been doing for 30 years.
I mean, that's a good question, and it really depends on the philosophy and the thinking up top. I mean, you saw the Arizona Cardinals move off of Josh Rosen after 1 year, and I don't even think Josh Rosen got near the number of starts that Tua got. And it's really kind of a fundamental thing. It's your fundamental thinking. You know, I think there's a lot of people, and probably the front office as well, that thinks that aside from the quarterback and the offensive line, this is a roster that's good enough to compete with just about any team in the NFL. I don't know if you can go that far, but this is the reason why we keep on hearing all these Deshaun Watson rumors, because there's a widespread thought that if you insert Deshaun Watson on this team, they can compete in the AFC. Again, I don't believe that, because I think that if anything, these 2 weeks have shown us that this roster is still a little
fractured.
They still have a couple steps to go, particularly with the offensive line. I keep on saying that everyone thinks that Deshaun Watson is just going to mask this bad offensive line because he did it in Houston. And yeah, but it still only got them so far because that line in Houston was so bad.
Daniel, you go and you look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's the most sacked quarterback in the last 7 years in the NFL, right?
Yes.
His offensive line is not great. But I think because of Russell's talent, because of how good Russell is, it allows him the opportunity to mask however bad the O-line is.
Correct.
Would you agree with that statement?
Correct, but that's not necessarily how you want to build your team. You don't want.
I'm not saying that it is.
You don't, of course, like just naturally, because quarterbacks touch the ball every single play, and they're like the focal point of the team. They're gonna the expectation is that the quarterback is going to lead you to victories in spite of everything around him. But instead of saying, hey, let's have the quarterback just save us, how about have a commitment to building the entire team? We even saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life in the Super Bowl. The offensive, a great quarterback is only going to get you so far. It can mask a lot, but it can't mask everything.
You said something that I want to take out and I want to extract. What did you say? You said you have to build up the entire team. You have to make that right. There's a lot of people in this chat room right now, Daniel, and there's a lot of people in this fan base that believe that Grier has dropped the ball on not addressing the offensive line. My co-host for the day, Wade O, who's in the backstage, he's somebody who firmly believes that Penei Sewell should have been drafted over Waddle, you know? And so you look at that. Do you think that Grier over the last 2 years has dropped the ball by not drafting somebody like Rashawn Slater, Penei Sewell, Tristan Wirfs, all of these people over the last 2 or 3 years, right? And Creed Humphrey. We can keep on going. The list keeps on going. And the people that they drafted, who, by the way, I love Jalen Waddle and I love Jalen Phillips, but they are luxury picks. They are picks that you make to bring whatever your offense or defense to that next level. But if you can't get the basics down, which is what you just said about the O-line, how can you ever move forward and expect this team to be good?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying that's a fair question. And, I do a weekly mailbag that goes up on the Miami Herald. It's probably going to go up sometime this morning. And I address that because that's also what a lot of people were asking me. At one point, do we hold Grier and Flores accountable for some missteps? And, like I said, I'm always keep it down the middle. So I'll say, first, I'll give credit to Chris Grier for some of the moves that he has made, drafting Xavier Howard in the second round, getting Jakeem Grant late, picking up a guy like Nick Needham as an undrafted rookie, getting Ahmed Sealer off waiver wire. We got to give credit to that. But I will say that, and as I wrote, draft currency is gold, and none is more valuable and consequential than first round picks. So I'm not even going to look at the 2021 draft because we're only 2 games into it. We can't pass any judgment on guys who just played 2 games in the NFL. But if you look at that 2020 draft, you got 3 first-round picks. And if we kind of go down the list from the first to the last in that first round, we got Tua, who we're still trying to see what the deal is with him. We're still in the waiting stage to see if he can be a franchise quarterback. You got Austin Jackson, who has significantly struggled. And as you said, there are a couple guys on the board who a couple other offensive linemen, offensive tackles on the board who the team probably could have taken and who to this point have looked better. And then you have Noah Igbenogany, who, people are saying it's a bust. I won't go that far yet, just out of respect of him, because he's a young guy. He's in his second year, but it's not looking good. The pick is looking worse by the week. Every single week that he is still inactive and not even on the game day roster, it's looking bad. And I said, I'm not even gonna go down the laundry list of guys. That's we can always play that revisionist history. You're gonna win some picks, you're gonna lose some picks, but if you hit on 1 or 2 more of those first round picks, and you got an instant impact player, I don't know if you lose 35-0 to the Bills. I don't know if you beat the Bills, but I think that the perception of the organization is a lot different. 2019, I think that may have been Christian Wilkins, or if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but I know that 2016 and 2017, those are the team's best first rounders, Minka Fitzpatrick and Larry Tunsil, and they're not even on the team. So exactly. I mean, if you, like I said,
you hit the nail on the head, brother. You hit the nail on the head.
And it's just the facts. If you miss on a first round pick, that can set your franchise back a couple years, and if you miss on a quarterback, that can set it back a lot more years and result in a lot of guys losing their jobs, and that's just the fact of the matter.
And you know what? That's the thing, right, Daniel? We had a chance to get Justin Herbert, and we got Tua.
Yeah. No, I didn't even bring that up because I just know of the natural. I just know of the natural comparisons. Andrew Luck went number 1, RG3 went number 2, and RG3 was looking like that guy after 1 year. So I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm not even gonna bring up Herbert.
By the way, speaking of which, do you know who's still quarterbacking in the NFL out of that first round? Tannehill. Tannehill's still playing.
That's true.
Dolphins did it right. They picked the right guy, but 7 years too late, and they got rid of him and didn't have the right coaching staff.
Right.
And I know people in the chat box would probably argue with me about that, but that's neither here or there. The reality is, Daniel, my last couple of questions for you, because I know you got to get out of here, is where do Dolphin fans go from here? Because the reality is we're sitting 1-1 right now. We're about to go play Vegas, this team that is 2-0 that look really good.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, Dolphin fans are like, oh, my God, here we go again. This is going to be we think it's going to be another typical Dolphin season. What do you say to that?
I would say don't lose hope after week 2, but there are some fundamental issues with this team, and really particularly that offensive line, that I am worried about. It's the fact for me that you mentioned it earlier, people saying that the offensive line hasn't been addressed enough. I think the offensive line has been addressed. Austin Jackson is a first-round pick. You have, I think Robert Hunt is a 4th or 2nd round pick. Solomon Kinley might be a 4th round pick. Michael Dieter is a 3rd round pick. I mean, that's significant draft capital. And whether it's not picking the right guys, the coaching, the evaluation, something is not clicking. I know it's a young group, but as Robert Hunt, we can't keep saying that SH, you know what?
Yeah.
He said you can't keep, like, after a while, you can't keep on saying that. Yep. You have to see some signs of growth. And the issue is we're not seeing those signs of growth. And I said it before the season started, the only thing that worried me about this team was the offensive line. Because I was like, if the offensive line can't block, the offense is not going to improve at all, and Tua is not going to look good because he's not athletic enough to keep on making plays off script for 17 games. He's going to get hurt, or it's just not going to work. He wasn't even trying to move off script when he got hurt. He just got hit by an unblocked defensive end. So, like I said, it's one loss. It's a bad loss. We're not going to overreact to it, but there are some underlying issues that I'm worried that the team is not going to be able to fix this season. You're not overhauling the offensive line. Whatever street free agent you can throw out there to plug in at left tackle is not going to just magically fix this offensive line. There's some fundamental issues that I'm worried about when I look at this offensive line.
All right, Daniel, tell us what we got on deck for the podcast this week, and what can we look forward to you from more of your content.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's kind of like you, where we're just taking a step back and just looking at how did the Dolphins get in this position, losing 35-0, their quarterback being carted off. Obviously, the whole week is up in the air with Tua's status for the game kind of being questionable. He's day to day. So definitely, check out Miami Herald. We'll be on top of that throughout the week.
What's the name of the podcast?
The Dolphins in Depth podcast.
All right, make sure. And now, is that just on Miami Herald, or can people download that on all platforms?
You can download. I believe it's on all platforms where you get your podcast. So yeah, definitely go to Miami Herald. I usually link it at the bottom of every story. But if you want to kind of take it on the go, you can get it wherever you find podcasts.
And if people want to read your articles, they just go to MiamiHerald.com and type in and sign up to get the monthly subscription.
Exactly, yeah. And we've got a cool sports pass only subscription. So if you just want to read about the Dolphins, or just read about the Dolphins and the Heat and some of the South Florida teams, you can just get a sports only pass. So it's a pretty neat deal.
Tell Miami Herald, Miami Sports Music loves what you guys are doing, and we love you, Daniel. Thank you for coming on, brother. You are awesome. Each and every Tuesday, Miami Herald Tuesday, with my man Daniel Oyefusi. I'm going to get it right. And it's going to become natural. And then we're going to feel so much better about this.
Most definitely, man.
All right, brother. I love you. Be safe, man.
Same to you, man. Safe trip.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. This is the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network #1 morning show. Clock Blockers. What is going on? Let me bring in my co-host for the day, Wade. Wade-O.
What up, Steve? How are you, brother?
Well, I know I was doing okay, but you look like you got some stuff to get off your chest. So the floor is yours, Wade. The floor is yours. What would Shula do?
I'm gonna tell all y'all a story. Right, this is how we're gonna start off today. So this story is about a football team that beats New England at home, and then they get to go home. And they get to play another division rival. And they hold the potential MVP candidate last year to under 180 passing yards, to under 35, I should say, rushing yards. They get 3 turnovers, and they lose by 35 points. Now, if I didn't tell you that last part of the story, if I just told you we got 3 turnovers, we held Josh Allen to under 180 passing yards and 35 rushing yards, you would think we'd be in here celebrating.
Yep.
Right? But the fact of the matter is, as we said a billion times in the offseason, this team ain't going to go nowhere with this. Bro, this offensive line, first you got to change the name of the show. The word block should not be associated with aqua and orange at all. That offensive line looked like the Capitol Police just opening the doors for people on January 6th, bro. Like, that offensive line. Look, Tua got sacked, 2 times on one drive?
Oh, my God.
Got sacked another 6. And just and he's deluded fan, man. Like, I'm so sick of hearing the nonsense from our fan base. Like, I heard someone scream, I'm mad at Flores for not kicking that field goal at the end of the game. For what? I'm mad at Devontae Parker for not making the end zone catch that would have been the highlight reel Sports Center play of the city. Like, that's your problem. Go and look at how we got obliterated. Almost every starter in the Bills front 7 got multiple pressures. Gregory Rizzo, the guy we should have drafted if we were going to draft the defensive end, the best defensive end.
Oh, wow.
Got 2 sacks.
You went there.
I'm going to. I don't want to do that. I swear I don't have to pay.
Come here. Hey, real quick. Hold on. We have a special guest. Maybe you know him. Maybe you guys know this guy. Here, say hello to Wade.
Let me say hello to Wade. Hello, Wade.
What up, D?
Let me say something to the whole. Let me say something to the whole East 12, East 32. All y'all. Somebody out there was sick. Y'all got me drinking Theraflu, and I don't appreciate it.
Man.
All right. I don't know who it was.
Steve, I'm sick after watching that game.
It could have been that.
I think that's what did it, bro.
It could have been that.
I was all.
But if not, whoever has some sick symptoms, you stay your ass home. All right. We won't play these games. All right, it's 2021. We didn't take certain precautions. All right, so you gotta be careful. Outside of that, goddamn it, listen, we got our ass whooped.
Hey, swear jar.
How much, man? Goddamn.
It's $1 per swear.
Let me prepay that because I need 2 minutes. So. All right, so look, I'm putting $10.
We're gonna start a Cash App, bro. We're gonna start a Venmo.
Listen, all right, I'm gonna try not to curse, but anyway, man, big shout out to everybody, man. I'm sipping Theraflu. I was down a little bad yesterday. We a little better today. It's not the Rona, you know what I mean? We good on that. But yeah, we got whooped, man. It was bad. We can keep blaming the O-line, but I did hear some good points that it's other people's jobs too, you know what I mean? Some other people should have picked up some blocks. Tua got hurt. Brissett couldn't do nothing. Hey, y'all ever see Any Given Sunday when they stopped blocking for Willie Beeman?
Yeah.
In the game when it was raining, bro.
Longest yard, the same thing, man. Like,
I feel like Brissett went up. Can I get some fucking protection? Hey, remember how they did Willie Beeman? That's how I feel like Brissett was. Add to it, man. It was bad, man. But I'm gonna be honest. I was telling everybody this Sunday, and I know we hate to say this, and y'all know I definitely hate to say this. Buffalo is Super Bowl contenders, bro. Like they're not a regular team, bro. Like they're actually a good team. But I feel like we should have competed a lot more than that. You know what I mean? To get blown out like that is a bad look for us. Now, everybody probably didn't expect to win. Of course, we wanted to win, but you got to know Buffalo's a good team. But I wish we didn't get blown out like that. So now I got to see how we respond because the Raiders don't look horrible. Wednesday is when I start talking trash about the Raiders. Right now, we got to be a little realistic and all that kind of stuff. But tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to tell you we're going to smash the Raiders 45-0. All right? Steve, do your thing. Much love, Wade.
Peace, brother.
See, that's what I get to deal with every day.
And you know who you are if you're watching this show. Somebody was sick.
I'm telling you, bro. I think it's
stay home if you're sick.
It's your body's reaction to watching what happened, man.
He said it's your body's reaction to watching the Dolphins lose.
It started raining too.
Hey,
look. Right around the rain, I think we threw an interception or something. I was like, yo, when it rains, it pours, bro.
Yo, no, it was downpouring.
It was good. I love it. Hey, anybody that ordered any gear is going out, man. Actually, he's in my way.
Tell Miami,
I need to be
tell Miami Football Talk that his shorts are coming.
Yeah, Miami, I guess. Who's his shorts?
They are.
All right, if he say they coming, they coming. We got them. Look, we ain't hurt. Hey, we ain't hurting for merch. All right? Everybody, show what you got. Man, show them the shorts, bro.
Those are the worst advertisers.
We're going to do a fashion show on it, man. You feel me? The oranges. I don't have no oranges. All right, but y'all got to pre-order those. Those will be ready in a week. We got the new DWATs right here, even though we lost when I wore this, so I might not ever wear it again. Where can people find it, Solo? MSMclothing.com. Oh, no, you're supposed to use the real one.
Man.
My bad. Hey, we got to get you a link, bro, so they know, so it comes from you. Matter of fact,
don't worry. Get this behind the scenes.
I'm going to get him his own link.
I love you, bro.
Right? But just make sure you laced out, because eventually we're going to have the whole stadium rocking DWA. That's my goals. You know what I mean? I'm about to retire from music and be a clothing designer, all right? But just holler at me. Wade, and get some, what would Shula do, too? I saw them leggings, Wade. I see you making moves over there. I saw somebody wearing some leggings.
We saw your merch over
I saw somebody wearing leggings.
Dirty Sportswear, bro.
I see what you're doing.
Hey, Insanity says she wants some DWA orange shorts.
Shout out to Solo, the worst advertiser ever. If Solo was the only guy in commercials, we wouldn't know what the hell they're advertising.
Wait.
God damn, what did I do? First of all, he got this little ass camera. I got to keep bending over.
You can't hear
I can't show the whole shirt. You dig me? But just know that it's here. MSMclothing.com.
No, man, MiamiSportsMusic.com.
That's all it's saying.
No, it's not.
We got to get you a link, Steve.
Y'all going to get the package Solo coughed on right before he put it in the mouth. But no, man. Like,
now that we were rudely interrupted.
Yo, and honestly, man, like I really don't want to hear nothing else. Like this O-line is where it stops and ends with me, man. And yes, you know, Myles Gaskin got to pick up blocks, all that stuff too. But when your biggest problem is your running back not picking up blocks, you got a good problem. You know what I mean? But we're not. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. We had 2 sacks as a team. 2 sacks. The only team with less sacks is Green Bay, right? Like, and this is a front seven that was supposed to be feared. And look, we're averaging 2.5 turnovers a game. That's awesome.
I have to tell you, this defense is who is exactly who I thought they were. And the reality is, we wouldn't have given up 35 points if some of those what's the word I want to use? We wouldn't have given up 35 points if some of those turnovers weren't on our side of the field.
Well,
they
but
were
listen,
bad turnovers.
Listen, man. Here's the thing. When you hold a guy like Josh Allen
to under 180 yards,
when that happens, the only reason they had 35 points in the first place is because our offense couldn't stay on the field. Like, at the end of the day, Josh Allen threw 2 touchdowns, and they had 3 rushing touchdowns, I believe.
Yep.
Like, the only reason they were in position to do that is because our offense couldn't stay on the field, period. Like, I'm sorry. If you watch that game and don't think our defense did that job, I want to argue with you. Because, yes, we didn't get to the quarterback like I think we should have, and a big part of that is not having Raekwon Davis, and we see how much that hurts. And, you know, for all this Chris Greer talk, like, for all the quote-unquote misses on these first-round picks that everyone's so upset about, like, look at some of these depth guys. Like, I heard your boy just now say Robert Hunt was like a 4th-round pick. Robert Hunt was a 2nd-round pick, and so far he's been our best offensive line the last 2 years. Like, Raekwon Davis was a 2nd-round pick, and he's been an absolute stud for us. He brought up Xavier Howard, all these other guys. But, like, even you look at, like, Javon Holland was the best player on the field on either team on Sunday. Xavier Howard played very well, right? Even Byron Jones, who we didn't draft, but, you know,
our secondary's fire, bro. Our secondary's amazing.
I want to get to that but I've been critical of Jones last season and this season, and not that I don't think Jones is a good player. I don't think we got the level from him last year that I wanted, and I was kind of iffy about him in the first game. Byron Jones, I think, played very well this game. However, you know, I have to say this. Go back and watch that game. I spoke very clearly last week about how when we played this cover 2 soft stuff, we got eaten up. Yet when we manned up and played man, sorry about that. We manned up and played man.
No,
we
it was
played
my
very well.
alarm. I'm like, what is that alarm?
No, it's me. I got 3 phones over here, man. I'm a nightmare. But well, we went to man early and often in this game, and it worked out very well for us. But if you notice, the one guy who's a starter that was not on the field for almost all the key 3rd down situations, especially when we were in man coverage, is Eric Rowe. And I think Eric Rowe's very quickly losing his position. And the interesting thing is, on a lot of those same downs, McCourty wasn't either. It was Brandon Jones and it was Javon Holland. Right? So I know there's a lot of guys on this thing that really like Brandon Jones. So it looks like the coaching staff's trusting him a little more. And again, I want to get to the quarterback more, but overall, I am not upset with this defense. If this offense could have put anything respectable on the field, and yes, there's a lot of people, I know, I see the comments going up, there's a lot of people we can, you know, say should have done a better job, but the fact of the matter is we have not won against Buffalo since Brian Flores has been our coach. We are 0-5 against Buffalo since Brian Flores has taken over, and I'm starting to lose my patience a little bit. And one of the big reasons is there's no creativity.
Because you love Don Shula.
Game plan. Well, that too. But everyone does, though. That's not saying nothing. But there's no creativity in the game plan, man. Like, we have the same game plan on offense every week.
It's very vanilla.
Period. And I don't even dislike the game plan against certain things. It's like against New England, it works, and it's exactly what we need to run to win. But you're not playing New England this week. Like, you're not playing New England next week.
Do you think if Tua didn't get hurt, that game would have turned out different on Sunday?
Different for sure. I think a blind man could see we would have been in a better position. But do I think we would have been in a great position?
No.
I've been saying for 6 months, not with this offensive line. And I really mean that. Like, Austin Jackson could not block traffic with a turned over semi-truck. And I was a Jackson fan. Like, I wanted Jackson in the draft. I thought he played well last year. Like, Tua has a much quicker release, which we need for this offensive line, quite frankly. I mean, I don't think the fastest release in the world would help me, but there's a bigger thing here. No, there's not. There's really not. Like, this is the biggest thing. Like, somebody when I jumped on earlier, there was a comment made about, like, well, if we get rid of Tua in the offensive line, that's a quarter of the team. That's a quarter of your starters. Like, what are you talking about? You know, and again, no pressure, so to speak, really from the blitzing guys. I mean, I think this until he turns into something otherwise, I think we should just stop talking about Jalen Phillips. I think we're all kind of on the same page here. Like, I thought we were going Kwity Paye with that pick. I would have much rather had Gregory Rousseau. I think the results are showing that now.
Oh, my God.
And yes, you mentioned this earlier, right? I talk about Sewell all the time. And this isn't a Jalen Waddle knock. Like, I like Jalen Waddle. There is a Jalen Waddle jersey in this house, right? Jalen Waddle is playing well. However, how can you say there isn't when you even know what I'm talking about? Because there's nothing more important on this team right now than the offensive line. There is no bigger problem on this team than the offensive line, period. It's not there. It's not there. Please show me, draw me a chart, but it's not there. The offensive line is by far and away the biggest. We realistically may have the worst offensive line in the league. I think there's only 3 teams that have given up more sacks than us.
Pick on me. Please choose me. Please choose me. I agree with that statement, sir. I think we do have the worst offensive line in the league. I would definitely agree with that statement.
Now, the plus side is it looks like the Jets have wasted another first-round pick on a quarterback like we thought they were going to.
Well, our problem's not the Jets, unfortunately. Our problem's the Buffalo Bills, and we can't seem to find a solution for them in 3 years. That's the reality.
I mean, I just said it. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you there. Buffalo is kicking our ass. And I'm not sure.
Swear jar.
Listen.
By the way, Solo took his $10 back.
Yeah, I don't know what you thought was going to happen. I'm sure not. But no, I mean, look, Buffalo may not be the best team in the division. They may not. But they got our numbers, so that's all that matters. All this, for years, everyone's like, oh, we play really well against New England. We haven't won against Buffalo in 3 years. Is the O-line talentless or not used? I mean, does it matter? Here's the thing. We got some guys that can do certain things well. For all we talk about Austin Jackson in the pass blocking game, his run blocking is solid. Robert Hunt's a good player. Kinley, I cannot figure out, dude. Kinley's all over the place. He has a really good game and then a terrible game. Dieter has been kind of a bright spot in center, but it's only kind of a bright spot because we thought, our center position was going to be completely awful, and he's been okay. Eichenberg, I think, played better at left tackle last week than at right tackle this week. So I don't know. I mean, we had the issue with the offensive line coach quitting last season, right? We have 2 different offensive coordinators here. We got Flores, who is, I really do think, one of the more, for lack of a better term, brilliantly minded defensive coaches. But we can't figure this O-line out. And you guys are right. It's not a new problem. It's not. But it's still a problem. If you had any other job in any other industry, and I said we've had the same problem for 8 years, somebody getting fired. And seriously, losing 35-0 to a division rival at home week 2 is the type of thing that gets people fired. And, I came on this thing and I said very clearly, I expected us to start the season 0-2. We pulled out the win by the skin of our teeth against New England, and we lost last week. I still think we're in a pretty good spot. From now until Christmas, we have a game against Buffalo, a game against the Ravens, and a game against Tampa that I think most people are probably counting as losses. Even if I give you those, the rest of the games from here on out are games we should be able to, at the very least, compete in. But I feel strongly about winning. I don't think the Colts are that good. The Raiders, Josh Jacobs, and Derek Carr. And Derek Carr has been quietly playing very well the last couple seasons.
Real quick, Kenneth said, 2 is a big college kid and a 5-star player. Come on.
I don't want to do Tua right now, man. I don't. The kid got hurt on the first drive. I've said before, and I'll say again, and I think you even mentioned it a couple minutes ago here. With this O-line is so bad, it's not even fair to talk about Tua.
No, but TD and I talked, and I watched the breakdown, and he was right, dude. He was right. Those first 11 plays, 12 plays, whatever they were, none of it's on the offensive line. They're not good enough. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But they could not have done anything better to help in that first 2 drives with Tua. They couldn't have. I don't think they could have done anything better than what they did. And I think it's on Tua to call out the coverages, and Tua did not call out the coverages.
So let me ask you, Steve, are we a team that traditionally on offense comes out super hot and takes a lot of chances right away?
Repeat the question one more time.
I said, are we a team that traditionally comes out on offense super hot and takes a lot of chances right away?
We've scored on our first drive last week, and I think we were. I'll say yes. I think we do start out our first drive. I think our first drives. I'd like to see what our first drive is the last 20 games, and I got to think that we've scored on our first drive more than 10 times. I don't know about that, but I assume that we have.
I would tell you, in my opinion, I don't think traditionally we are. I think we're an offense that comes out slow, plays that chess, tries to see what the defense is doing, and then draws up some stuff. And when I talk about drawing up some stuff, and I said this to a friend of mine yesterday, where is the creativity that we saw over the last couple seasons? Like, where are those bringing in Christian Wilkins as a fullback in the red zone? Where are the fake punts, the sweeps, that 2-point conversion where we're throwing the pass just a lateral to somebody else? I've seen no damn creativity in this offense so far this year. And I understand against New England, like, hey, you're playing a tough-nosed game, every second counts, whatever. But when you're losing as bad and getting beat on the O-line as bad as you were yesterday or Sunday, where is the misdirection? Where's the let's take you by surprise? Where's the let's make you think and spread out your offense? It wasn't there. It really wasn't. Like, we kept trying to draw up the downfield shot to Parker. You can't draw up a downfield shot when you're getting murdered on the O-line. That was at 3rd and 6, and we run like the inside sweep to Myles Gaskin.
Sweep the leg, Danielson.
Like, bro, what am I seeing here? Like, I really want to go back and go, like, where is the creativity from last year? Where is the specifically, hey, we're playing this team and they're going to attack us this way, so we're going to do this to counter it from last year? Like, it doesn't seem to be there. And I know it's been 2 games. I know. Like, don't jump all over me. Like, I know it's been 2 games. This is the first time in my career. Who am I? This is the first time since Flores got here that I'm actually questioning Flores. And it's not that I think Flores is a bad coach. It's I don't think he's doing enough in that area that made him successful. And maybe it's the 2 coordinators. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I wish I did. But this isn't what we thought we were going to get from this offense, and not just because of the offensive line.
Yeah, we are not who we thought they were. I can tell you that right now. Hey, check your private chat or your Facebook chat. What I do want to let everybody know is, if you're watching right now, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this link, let people know what's going on. Want to make sure that you guys are here. You guys are having a good time. I know a lot of you guys want to get into the link, and I'm going to get into that here in a second. But I do want to let everybody know that if you guys want to see more amazing content, go to MiamiSportsMusic.com. Check out our YouTube page. We have a lot of amazing content there. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I actually have to get ready to go to the airport. I love you guys. I do. And I know some of you want to get on to the chat. So here's what I'm going to do. Wade said that he can host for another 30, 40 minutes. And so Wade's going to take over the rest of the morning because I got to go get ready to go to the airport. Okay? I have a flight to catch, but I wanted to make sure I hung out with you guys this morning. All right? So make sure you guys be good to Wade. No politics. No yelling or cussing at fans. All right, Wade? I'm going to hear about it, Wade. Okay? Don't make me put you in timeout, Wade.
Steven's referring specifically to I drew a lot of attention to myself in the deep end this weekend, yelling at him across 13 sections or whatever.
That was hilarious, by the way. We both were like, Albert Wilson, I know, he dropped the ball. We were referring to Albert Wilson and his drop balls.
That's the PG version.
And his drop balls. As we're yelling at each other from 14 rows across and one section over. It was pretty funny. All right, Wade, you know how to invite people on here. I'll let people come into the link. This is going to be your show, brother. I'm going to let you do your thing, man. I love you. Have a good time. I'm going to get ready to go to the airport. I hope you guys like everything. I just put the link into the StreamYard so you guys can come on. Any final words for me, Wade?
No, man, it was good to see you. You know, I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Let me know when you land. I want to be very clear. This isn't. I don't want to hear no Tua talk today. So if you're clicking that link, I will kick people out. This isn't Tua's big day.
I just want to let people know this is not me. This is going to be Wade's clap blockers.
Oh, very clear.
Pretty dicey this morning.
I love you guys. About a guy that's hurt.
Don't leave me because Wade's crazy. Okay, that's all I'll say. All right. I love you guys. Y'all be good. Pin the link, Steven. All right, let me see if I can pin the link. Here we go. That way, hold on. Yep, pin message. There we go.
I'm going to let these people in while you're doing all that, bro. It'd be good to see you.
I love you, brother. Be good, man. Be good, everybody. Have fun with Wade.
All right, we kicked Steven out. Now it's a party. Now it's all cursing and drugs and all the wonderful stuff. Thought I wasn't funny. All right, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
Hey, guys, my only request is please be careful. Try to not talk over each other. A lot of times we have multiple people on here and we get like screaming going on. Crew, I think you got some wind going on down there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to get ready to get off. I'm on break, so I'm about to leave in a little bit.
Cool. Well, have at it, you two. What's up, crew? What's up, Pam?
Hey.
Only thing I was saying was that, Tua is like what would we call him? He's like a kid that haven't faced any adversity.
Hey.
What did I just say?
I ain't hear you.
Hey, we're not talking about Tua today. This is not the Tua show. Tua's hurt.
It wasn't. It's really about the whole team because everybody on the team is more like done faced adversity. That's all I was trying to get to the point. Adversity. I don't see much adversity he's went through in college like some of these other kids. Like Jacoby, he's done faced adversity. Even though he hasn't came out on top of it yet, you see he has faced adversity. He has went through some things and tried to pick himself up. I don't think he's there yet. That's why we having so much trouble. Jacoby came in, even though he wasn't calling out the blitzes all the time, he was going to a hot read.
So you don't think the massive hip injury and coming back and people not knowing if he's going to be healthy in the NFL and all that wonderful stuff, you don't think that's adversity, as you call it?
That is adversity, but that's like a different type of adversity. That's an adversity with getting out here playing versus adversity playing. You get the difference?
I get you. We'll see, man. He's going. He had the thumb injury last year. He's got the ribs right now. We're gonna see how. Thanks,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying
we're gonna see what happens, man. Like if the kid comes out.
I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that at this point in time with this team we get, we need a veteran, especially with that line being so young.
So what's your solution? Just to ship off to it?
We ain't really got to ship them off. My thing would be we could probably go get somebody that's in the free agency and probably help Tua develop even more. I'm not necessarily saying get rid of them, but there's times that, Pat Mahomes sat a whole year. Aaron Rodgers sat a whole year. Tua didn't really sit a whole year.
Well, Rodgers sat for a while. Rodgers sat for a couple, and Jordan loves doing the same thing up there. But again, I don't think. I honestly don't think it's going to matter right now. Like, unless you could land a Hall of Famer, like a Russell Wilson type dude, which they mentioned Russell Wilson earlier. Like, Russell Wilson is 1 in a million. Like, he's been arguably the best quarterback in the league over the last couple of years. But the point is, like, I could be back there right now. I'd be running for my life. Usain Bolt would be back there. He'd be running for his life. Like that.
Yeah, I get that. And you know what I'm saying? When Russell is back there running for his life, like Pat Mahomes been running for his life, they still try to make things happen. Like that's my only thing with Tua. Like when you get out there and you running for your life, or you really trying to extend the play, or you just really breaking down because you don't know where else to go.
But if you look at the Super Bowl last year, right? You saw what happens to a guy like Patrick Mahomes when they don't have a good offensive line. Patrick Mahomes ran for over 500 yards in the Super Bowl before he threw the ball.
Yeah, but look what you just said. He ran for over 500 yards, but he, what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying, though. even though he's not having a clean pocket like he would have in Alabama, you know what I'm saying? It still comes down to, well, let me see which lineman is going to break down first. And that's where I know how much time I got to get up out of here.
Well, Patrick Mahomes also has the highest graded tight end wide receiver combination in the history of football. Like, it's not the same situation. And an offensive minded coach in Andy Reid. But let's talk to Pam, because she was back there for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go ahead and go because I got to get back. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, brother.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Anniversary. What's up, Pam?
I'm doing okay. How's everybody doing? Besides our big crying bloodbath. So I got a little bit different take, and before anybody has a cow, hear me out. So one thing is, I agree with what was said earlier about the lack of imagination with the play calling. But I think that can be answered in a couple of ways. One is that Jacoby was pulled in cold. You know, from then on, it had to be vanilla. But my main thing is the reffing of that game, I believe, caused. Don't just listen to me. Don't be shaking that head. I heard that rattling.
I'm agreeing with you. I mean, this was in the New England game too. Right? In general, this year in the NFL, the referee has been horrible.
I mean, when you think about every single time we pull up fourth down, here comes a flag. And when you think about a face mask that is non-existent, and when you think about a roughing the passer that was absolutely absurd. So let me tell you, we come in with a game plan, right? And then we get down quick. Definitely several things on us, dropped passes, fumbles, things like, I mean, that's on us. But when you get down like that, your game plan has to change because we're in desperation mode. We are no longer in our game plan, which there's another thing. I think the game plan wasn't right from the beginning. I think we should have run the ball. And I understand about the O-line, but when you're playing in Miami in September, it is a 4-quarter game plan to run the ball. But once you get down, we're in desperation mode. And once again, we couldn't have done that anymore anyway. So I really blame the fact of the referees as one of the biggest problems we have. And I don't know what's going on between Greer and Flo. In Flo, I trust. In Greer, I question. So I don't know if Flo's hands are being tied. I don't know if the dynamic between the two OCs is a problem. I don't know. But I didn't like a lot of the play calls on offense. I think when you got a defense that's all over you like that, you got to throw some screens. You got to, do some fakes, some RPOs, something to get a positive. For example, look at the play calling by New England last week. Simple, complete, quick little passes. I'm telling you, that game was painful, and I know it was for everybody. I know I'm not saying anything that y'all aren't feeling too, but it's upsetting. But I don't think we're done. I don't think that's how we are this season.
I mean, I agree with almost everything you just said. Like, it's interesting if you watch like what we did in the preseason, what we did against New England, what our game plan was supposed to be. There was a lot of these screens like to Waddle, right? To a lot. I mean, this isn't even me saying this. I can't believe I'm going here, but you can go on ESPN and all and see these guys, and they literally call Tua already the best RPO quarterback in football. And his RPOs, despite the fact that he can't even really run that well, are very good and effective, especially when he tucks it down and guns it to Parker or Gesicki or one of these big guys. You're right. Like, where was that stuff? And maybe that was their magical game plan. Well, hey, we think Buffalo's going to prepare for this. I freaking doubt it. But Yeah. And yes, like these are also things that may be part of our offensive game plan because our O-line's so bad. So you would think we would lean on them more because, again, RPOs are, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about here, what RPOs literally are is there's a fake handoff, quarterback has an option to run, there's usually a quick out route. Like these are things that are literally there to get rid of the ball quickly or put the offense in this direction, right?
Yes.
Screens
And another point too is, so Jacoby, while coming in off the bench, and he looked amazing in preseason, and he played quite a bit, but some of the things that we saw, the holding the ball too long, that's an inherent issue. That isn't just like I'm cold off the bench issue. I'm thinking, he's not seeing it. And I know they were throwing a lot of different looks on the defense at him and stuff, but that holding, I mean, you got to have that clock in your head, and I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, especially that clock's got to get sped up, and especially in the rain. And for those of y'all that weren't there, I don't know how it looked on TV, but the rain was coming down pretty heavy, especially in the second half. But the fact of the matter is, man, like we couldn't. There was pressure coming from everywhere. I know I brought up Gregory Rousseau. It's a lot to ask any backup quarterback, even a guy that's seasoned like Brissett. But it's got to be a combination of things. Like when you're under that pressure, like Pam said, you got to get rid of that ball quicker. We got to have play calls that are designed for that. I mean, people were jumping over Parker for the potential end zone catch, which I said before. Had he actually caught that ball, that would have been like a highlight reel catch, but he didn't. So everyone was mad at him. But that was a long developing play in a situation where we shouldn't be drawing up a long developing play.
But those are the catches Parker normally comes down with. So my last and final issue was, where was their fire when they hit the field? I didn't see that hungry fire. I mean, you saw from the defense, I thought the defense played really well, especially in the last three quarters. I thought they played really well. I'd like to see them catch a few more of those interceptions that they almost had, but where was the offensive fire? Why was there so many drop passes? When do you see professional football players drop the ball that much?
Well, the only thing I'll say there, some of it in their defense, some of it not. Number one, you do have a backup quarterback who's not getting time to set his feet or anything like that. He's literally throwing. I mean, the passes weren't perfect. Let's call it what it is. It was a downpour rain situation. But you're right. Like that was an anomaly for Parker to drop that ball. Albert Wilson, not so much. For all the stuff people came on here talking about Jakeem Grant and all, Albert Wilson has been horrible in terms of the passes he's caught versus what he should have caught. And yeah, there was the fumble from Waddle. Waddle's a rookie. I try to give a rookie, a little bit more of a pass. But
he's a rookie, not a rookie. When you play on the level that he played at in college, which is an extremely high level, I don't think you get the same pass somebody coming from SMU gets.
Well, but here's the other part of this, right? We did not have Raekwon Davis, who outside of X, most people I think would say is our best defensive player. I mean, Javon Holland's really pushing to be up there too. We didn't have Will Fuller, right? And I don't want to get into negative, I don't personal life, whatever. We're gonna have Will's back now. We're gonna have him this week against the Raiders, and we didn't have Tua. So you're looking at 3 starters out of the game against a team that, so my boy Solo was just on here calling Buffalo a Super Bowl contender, right? When you already have holes to cover up, right? Specifically holes in the outside pass rush and the offensive line, it hurts being down people. And for as much as like we had some success last year, here's the thing. We didn't have a lot of injuries last year, specifically our starters are our really important players. Byron Jones missing the 3 games at the start of the season was probably the biggest piece of it. Yeah, Parker missed like 16 quarters or whatever it is. Gazicki missed a game here and there. But in general, we were a pretty relatively healthy team. Look what we went through for 2 weeks. So we've had no Will Fuller at all yet. One was a suspension, one was a personal issue. We lost Raekwon Davis.
Well, in the defense, the idea of the defense having problems goes back again to the point about the refs. Because how many times did they bring up 4th down and here comes some ridiculous flag? They didn't call holding the same. Clearly, I don't know how many times we got held because oh, my brain's going dead. Their quarterback should have been on the ground multiple times.
sure.
We were held big time. They weren't throwing that flag.
Mariota. We're gonna face Mariota.
Hey.
Oh,
This is where I wanted to stop. I don't want to cut you off
Hawaiian
with that, but is this real? Has he officially been? Derek Carr's officially been ruled out. I know he was questionable, and I know Jacobs might be out too. But this just came across. Someone said Derek Carr's out. I'm trying to find the news right now.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
While
Go
you
ahead,
look
no
for that,
problem.
this is what I want to say. Thank you for having me up, guys. Pamela, I hear you. I hear your concerns. Another thing I want to say is there's only 2 guys in this entire fan-based community. There's only 2 guys in this fan-based community that brought up the weather issue. And that's me and Wade. And what you guys don't even understand is you're crying about this offensive line because I hear the entire community blaming the offensive line, sitting here saying, some of you are even saying we have the worst offensive line, but none of you are really taking into consideration the weather we were playing in, right? But yet, some of you will sit here and dog Brissett, like Brissett had the worst game in the world, right? They put Brissett in the game already down, and it was bad weather. He couldn't keep, like, this offensive line. To me, this was a good game. I don't know, man. It's just, to me, you guys need to calm down with this offensive line. You guys are going to see something extremely better on Sunday versus the Raiders. And I promise you, if Brissett starts, it's going to be a totally different offense that we're going to see here. And it's going to score points. That's really what I want to say.
So
I believe you on that
really
point.
good.
So the one thing
I
I'll say to
believe
you
you on
about the
that
weather,
point, Pete. I think you're totally right on that point. But the weather, and I never mentioned the offensive line. Never said line at all.
Nothing with that offense. Stop it.
But
So
I
look,
also want to say that I'm a Florida native. That weather is common weather. That is what we deal with all the time. The Miami Dolphins play in that weather all the time, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but we do have a very young team, right? So a lot of people aren't used to it and all. But I'll say this:
True.
I was right. I was at the game. For those of you who don't know, I sit 2 rows off the field, right? The weather got really bad at the halftime, essentially, right? So in the first half, it drizzled a little bit, yeah, but the O-line was playing bad in the first half. No, I agree, 100%. But the offensive line was bad before the rain really started coming down. They got way worse, right? And
But when it comes to offensive line, you have to be able to grip your feet. It was not perfect. Pamela hit another great point. It was a lot of penalties.
I get it.
It was a lot of penalties that game.
For sure, but if it was only weather and that was the whole thing with the offensive line, how comes we didn't hit Josh Allen more?
But didn't the Bills play in the same weather?
Right.
I mean,
we were all over Josh Allen, making him uncomfortable.
No, I think he played well in general. No, listen, I think he played well in general.
His O-line was struggling too with that weather.
So listen, I was one of the first people to come out here and say I think the defense actually played very well, but at the end of the day, we had 1 sack. So if it's just the weather, right, and our O-line is way better than we think, why did we give up 8 sacks to their 1?
That's and they're playing in the same weather.
Because Brissett is not mobile. That's why.
Brissett was mobile and he was good enough. He actually looked really good. He looked really good. It's impressive to me. He impressed me. Look, Brissett is going to impress you guys. He made passes. He completed some passes in that game. That you guys, it was crazy. Like look at his first.
That got shut out.
Listen,
guys, please don't. Let's not talk over each other.
That's not what I want. Can you please let me talk and I have this guy because he has an internal hate.
You always
that's
talk.
What you gotta understand. There's some guys.
All right, listen, I'm muting everybody. We can't talk over each other. All right, we only got about another 13 minutes in here. Please, I'm mute everybody. Please, with 1 person at a time.
What I was gonna say, Wade, I appreciate you, was Brissett on his first pass attempt of the game. Look at it. It was a beautiful thing. It was a sidearm throw. There was a free rusher in his face. You know, like that type of pass right there, that play right there with Tua, I don't see us completing it. And that's the difference we need. And that's the difference I see us getting on Sunday versus the Raiders. And I promise you, if that's the difference, we're going to score points and the Raiders aren't going to be able to keep up.
Which,
You
by
don't
the
see
way,
you
I'm
don't
not
see
seeing
Tua
anything out
completely.
here that says officially Derek Carr's out. Just throwing that out there. I'm not seeing that he's officially out yet.
So did you see when Tua threw the pass
Look,
to Parker when he pump faked the blitzer? Oh, but you didn't see that though, huh?
Ennis, we're talking about Jacoby because that's the guy who finished the game, and chances are that's the guy who's going to start next week versus
He's
Well,
the
not
we
gonna
don't know
Raiders.
that
start
for
next
sure.
week. Tua tried to
No,
get
that's what I'm
back in
saying.
the game.
Chances
He ain't
are
playing Sunday.
Tua's hurt. He got his wind knocked out, and he might
He
sit out a
tried to
couple
get
weeks
back
for
in the
getting his
game,
wind
Pete.
knocked
What are
out.
you talking about? He tried to get back in the game. They
I was
wouldn't let
very
him.
clear. We don't. This ain't gonna be a Tua combo. I'm letting a couple more people in real quick here, so let's try to be.
He tried to get back in the game. They wouldn't let him.
All right, everybody's hands up.
Morning.
Throw your pins up.
Hands up, y'all.
Hands up.
Y'all hear me?
I hear
Here's
you.
somebody.
Have y'all
All
ever
right.
seen
Can I say
that
something real
beautiful
quick?
type of pass like that? Go ahead.
When it comes to our offense, bro, most of our offense was ran in between the numbers. Any defense could dictate what they want to do with an offense like that. You know what I mean? It's quicker for them to blitz. It's quicker for them to keep the pass on the inside. Like 95% of our plays was bunch plays. We run the offenses made for Derrick Henry when we need an offense made for Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody can shut that down when our offense is clearly not made for that, bro. We got too many receivers. We should be in a spread offense. You know what I mean? Even on defense, like we letting the offense dictate what's going on the field instead of letting the defense dictate what they're going to do to the offense. You know what I mean? As a defense, you should just make them play to your strengths. We doing too much chasing around the field, cornerbacks leaving the side of the field when we got too much talent for them to be running around chasing everybody, leaving this side of the field open. No, keep everybody's spot and make them play ball. Like if you chasing them, making them, you letting them know, okay, I'm playing man or I'm playing zone. If you just sit in one spot the whole game and disguise it, you're dictating the game. You know what I mean? They let them dictate the game. That's how they beat us every time. Look at Buffalo defense. They never run and chase our receivers across the field. They cornerbacks stay in their zones and they play man or they play zone or whatever they playing. Like I was at the field.
Listen,
I was at the field. So and I'm like I was like in the skybox, bro, type shit. I see the whole field, bro. So the offensive line, they did bad, but every offensive line had mess ups in the game. So it wasn't really the offensive line. We was moving the ball down and messing us up. And then it's the type of formations, bro. Our offensive coordinators suck. Our defensive coordinators, they only did good when they put the real packages in. That's why we need to run like a 3-3-5.
No.
You know what I mean? We don't have that many linebackers. Yeah, bro, because we don't have many linebackers, bro. So you need to put them speed hitters out there on the field that could cover. And that's all we got is cornerbacks and nickel cornerbacks. That's the type of defense we should be playing with the personnel, bro. You got to match. Your personnel has to match your play calling and your plays have to match your personnel.
Listen,
Go ahead.
listen, exactly. So right now, our scheme right now, listen, you're right on the money, but we haven't been able to hit our strength to our scheme yet. We have a bunch of speed receivers, spread offense that we have not been able to shoot out. That offense is to score points early and get your versatile guys, your speed guys, all your linebackers, your safeties that you're trying to convert to linebackers. Those guys, Flores wants to see those guys on the field, but we can't put them on the field if we're not scoring points. And our offense is actually made to score points quick and early. It's just not working out. Everybody's blaming offensive line. Now, this guy just finished making a really great point. Our offensive system, our route patterns, they're very simple. Okay? It's in and outs, it's hitches and slants. That's it. There's really no other element to the rush here.
Exactly.
We're not getting
We're too easy to defend.
anything special. We're not getting a stop and go. We're not getting a post corner route pump fake with the quarterback. We're not getting any of that. We're
Bro,
just getting a simple
It
basic
take
offense.
time
bro,
to
why
run those
Hold
hold?
on,
routes.
don't cut me off and tell me it takes time. What
It
it
takes time.
takes
What are
is
you talking
a
about?
different weekly game plan inserted into this to the playbook, and that's what we're gonna get this week. We're gonna get a completely different script. These guys are gonna completely practice a different offense because we completely have a quarterback that can do it all and throw the ball all over the field in
I want
Brissett. Now, this is not Tua slander. This is just pointing out the fact that I've already recognized and I've been told people that Tua is a limited quarterback and he's limiting our team. That's
I
the
want to
issue. When
That
we
is Tua
grow
I
out
want
of
slander.
that,
That is
we will
Tua
get
slander.
better.
I want to speak to that though, if
You
I can,
just said,
guys. You guys, I've been kind of. I'm sorry, man. I just want to get this out there. Tua, as far as what I can see, I was off the Tua wagon last year, and then I kind of said, you know what, I was a little too hard on him for the injury and whatnot. Now I'm seeing kind of the
Tua's
same
not the problem.
things.
Get off the tour.
Well, I'm not. Hold on, hear me out. The thing with Tua, I want to see him get angry. I want to see some Brady. I want to see
Fire.
him, fire. I want to see him call people out on the field. Hey, get over here. Why weren't you blocking this guy? Hey, Gesicki, go hit this guy. Slap him. I want to see that. I want to see him correcting receivers. I think that's going to be the next step for Tua. And I like Brissett, and you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Sinet out there. But yeah, we should. I heard TD say earlier we should go to a Seattle type offense, and I think there's some merit there. Have the tight ends in there blocking. That might be a good look for us. We got the personnel for it.
We do.
we ain't
We
got the
were
play
almost in
calling
a
for it.
Seattle
That's the
style
problem.
offense against Buffalo.
You want
We had a
receivers to
lot of
run
two
post
receiver
routes at
set.
1.9
I mean, two
seconds.
tight end, two receiver set.
Yeah.
You
All
want
right,
post
so
routes
guys,
to be
check it
ran
out.
in
We got
1.9 seconds.
Well,
guys, check it out. I'm gonna mute everybody real quick. So we got about 5 minutes left here, and we got to wrap this up. So just some things that we're bouncing around here. So the latest official news was yesterday on Carr, right? And it's MRI on the ankle, questionable. Which we all know in the NFL, there's no more probable tag anymore, right? You're either questionable, you're doubtful, or you're not on the injury report if you're going to play, right? So questionable. Gruden's comments did say he thinks he's going to be able to play. Now, John Gruden is historically an idiot when he talks to the media, so who knows? I want to see a team that can beat Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs, and you know what I mean? I don't want to rely on we're getting the win because there's backups in, but at the end of the day, they don't ask how, they ask how many, right? So I want that win more than anything. As of now, the consensus is it looks like Tua is going to play. It's like 55-45, but they're saying they believe Tua is going to play. And really, with the extent of what his injury is, it really comes down to the pain tolerance, the uncomfortability type of thing, right? So there's no I've heard a couple people say, what if he re-injures it? It's a bruise. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you have a quote unquote re-injury risk for. So assuming Tua plays and assuming Derek Carr plays, what's everyone's opinion on what needs to happen for us to win this game? And I'm gonna mute everybody real quick.
Should we?
Angry Tua.
That's a good answer. I think play
What does that
calling.
mean? Angry Tua.
I mean, I believe there was sign every time I end up watching a Tua highlight, Tua's best plays or his best games where we're down and he's just out there hurry up offense. There's actually routes being ran instead of just go routes and screenplays. He looks good when he's moving around behind the line of scrimmage and the play call is almost max protection, but it's a play action. But he actually gets time. He looks good when he's pumping his chest and flexing.
That's it.
I think that's angry Tua.
Yeah.
And it honestly looks real good. But how often do we get that?
Look,
rare.
And I feel like that's all due to play calling. Like all of that. When
Right.
he's
So sorry.
on Sunday versus the Raiders,
I would
if it's
say
Tua,
the word of the day is fire. And whether it's from the players or the coaching staff, I want to see fire desire.
Bingo.
listen,
for that.
if Sunday's game is Derek Carr versus Tua, I want to see us open up this offense with Tua, spread it out like we're supposed to. We have Will Fuller. Preston Williams was playing against Buffalo. We have Parker healthy. I don't care about Albert Wilson's. Everybody panicking drops. Like I tried to tell you guys, it was raining. Waddle made some drops too. It was bad rain. Those other guys in Buffalo had a few drops as well. So when we get that full arsenal spread out, I want to see what team has enough cornerbacks to match up with all of them. Find the weakness, Tua. Audible everybody short and take that other guy that you think is the weakness on a fly route. Get rid of the ball, because until Tua doesn't get rid of the ball and throws it deep, this crowded offensive, the line is going to continue to be crowded. They're going to continue to be confused on who to pick up because they're going to continue to crowd the line of scrimmage. And don't forget, it's a young offensive line. These guys are growing. They're solid. They're not the best, but I don't want to hear this fan base say they're the worst ever again. You guys should actually see what Carson Wentz is dealing with and how Daniel Jones is having to turn into Lamar Jackson and run for almost 100 yards just to escape pressure.
Look, I can't give you Carson Wentz because Carson Wentz had a great offensive line in Philly, and he went to what was a great offensive line in Indianapolis, and he's made them both look horrible because Carson Wentz just freaking sucks. But anyway, hey, it was great kicking it with y'all. We got to get out of here Tuesday morning. I don't want to call this show what Steven officially calls it because I don't think that word should be associated with this team for a while until we prove we deserved it. But as Solo said, go hit up the Miami Sports Music website, Miami Podcast Network, all that wonderful stuff, all the new fly gear that's coming out. For those of you guys that are traveling to Vegas, you got the vaccine and all, so you can actually get in the stadium, all that wonderful stuff. Have fun. Please cheer and scream loud. The rest of y'all, I hope to see everyone in Miami for the Indianapolis game on October 3rd. And if not, we'll see you guys right back here next week. I'll probably be still hungover from how much I drink watching this O-line play the Raiders. But love y'all guys. Have a good day. Peace.
Fins up.
Bye. Bye. Bye, y'all. Love you, mean it.